Tonight, you will be welcomed to a cozy cottage beside a rain-filled greenhouse, where warm lanterns glow softly through misted glass, where leaves shimmer beneath gentle rainfall, and where nothing is expected of you except rest. You are listening to the Greenhouse Cottage. Welcome to the Whispering Willow. I'm Diana, and I'm so glad you're here tonight. This story is inspired by time spent in the expansive garden of my dear childhood babysitter I called Grandma Ella. She lived in a small home in a small town, but her garden seemed never-ending, with small creeks, wooden bridges, arbors, benches, greenhouses, and enough flowers to make a young girl feel she was in a secret fantasy fairy world. Before we begin, allow yourself to settle comfortably. Let your shoulders soften, your jaw unclench. Let your breathing slow naturally, without effort. And as the gentle rain continues softly beyond the windows of this peaceful place, allow each slow exhale to carry away a little more of the day. There is nowhere you need to go tonight, nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to hold together for anyone else. The rain will keep watch for a while, and you may simply rest. Far beyond busy roads and crowded schedules, there's a narrow country lane that winds quietly through fields and meadows. Tonight, that road glistens beneath a gentle spring rain. The rain is steady, soft, and unhurried, as though it has no beginning and no end. It just is. Tiny silver drops gather on tall grasses beside the lane. Water pools quietly in the worn grooves of old stones. The world seems wrapped in mist and softness. And somewhere ahead, warm golden light glows through the rain. You walk slowly along the lane. There is no need to rush, because you have the certainty wherever you end up is waiting patiently for you. The cool air brushes gently against your skin. The scent of rain-soaked earth rises around you, rich and calming. To your left, water drips steadily from cedar branches, and in the distance, a low roll of thunder moves softly across the hills. Distant, comforting somehow, like the sound of a storm settling itself deeper into the evening. As you continue along the narrow road, you begin to notice small lanterns hung carefully along a stone pathway. Their amber light glows warmly through the rain, and beyond them, you see a small building, the greenhouse cottage you've been looking for. It rests at the edge of a meadow, partially hidden by climbing ivy and flowering vines. The cottage itself is built of pale, weathered stone with dark wooden beams and wide windows glowing softly from within. And attached to one side, stretching outward beneath the rain, is the greenhouse. Its tall glass roof shines beneath the silver light. Raindrops slide gently down each pane. Warm mist clouds the inside of the glass, and through it, you can see the soft shapes of plants, lanterns, and hanging flowers. The sight of it calms you instantly and makes you smile. It feels as though you have arrived somewhere familiar, somewhere safe. You follow the lantern path toward the cottage. Wet stones glimmer beneath your feet. Small herbs grow along either side of the walkway. Lavender, rosemary, mint. Their fragrance rises softly in the rain. A wooden gate stands slightly ajar ahead, and as you step through, you hear the quiet creak of the cottage door opening. Warm light spills outward onto the path, and standing there, wrapped in a soft wool cardigan the color of moss, is the caretaker of the greenhouse cottage. Her expression is calm and welcoming, as though she has been expecting your arrival all evening. "You must be tired," she says softly. Her quiet voice blends easily with the sound of the rain. "Come inside," she says. You step into the cottage. Warmth surrounds you immediately. The air smells faintly of cedar wood, tea, and rain-damp leaves. A small fire crackles quietly inside a stone hearth. Golden light flickers across shelves filled with books, glass jars, and potted herbs. Near the fireplace, a gray striped cat sleeps curled tightly inside a woven basket. One ear twitches lazily as you enter, but otherwise she remains perfectly content beside the fire. The caretaker accepts your damp coat and hangs it carefully near the hearth. Then she hands you a warm towel. The softness of it feels comforting against your hands. Simple, grounding, and real. When you are finished drying off, she urges you to sit and places a steaming cup of tea on a small wooden table nearby. The tea smells of chamomile, honey, and lemon balm. You wrap your hands around the warm cup, and for a few quiet moments, you simply close your eyes and listen. Rain taps gently on the greenhouse roof. Fire crackles softly nearby. Water drips from the eaves outside. And the chair creaks softly as the caretaker rocks back and forth beside you, working quietly on her embroidery. wordless, yet comforting. There is no awkwardness in the silence here. Everything feels natural. The cottage feels removed from time somehow, as though nothing here hurries. You sit in silence, sipping your tea, feeling the warmth of the fire soothe you, as you simply sit and breathe, relaxing into the space. After a time, the caretaker smiles softly. The greenhouse is especially beautiful in the rain, she says. Would you like to see? You tell her you would, and she lifts a lantern as you move together toward the glass doorway leading into the greenhouse. The moment the door opens, warm, humid air surrounds you. The rich scent of leaves, flowers, and moist soil drifts through the space. Rain whispers steadily overhead. The greenhouse is larger than you expected. Long stone pathways wind between rows of plants. Lanterns glow softly from iron hooks above. Their reflections shimmer across rain-covered glass. Everywhere you look, there is life. Fern fronds arch gracefully overhead. Trailing ivy climbs wooden beams. Tiny droplets gather at the edges of broad green leaves. The caretaker walks slowly beside you, never rushing you, not even speaking, giving you time to notice everything. Along one wall stand long wooden tables covered with herbs. Lavender spills gently from clay pots. Bundles of rosemary hang upside down from drying hooks. Small labels written in swirling handwriting rest beside rows of seedlings. Mint, thyme, chamomile, lemon verbena. The air smells clean and calming. You brush your fingers lightly across the soft leaves of a mint plant. Cool droplets cling to your skin. Nearby, rain slides slowly down the glass roof in silver ribbons. The sound is steady, repetitive, soothing. You continue farther into the greenhouse, and ahead, clusters of moonflowers climb along tall trellises. Their pale blossoms glow softly beneath the lantern light. White jasmine vines and gardenia blossoms wind carefully through hanging baskets, their thick sweetness filling the warm air. And somewhere nearby, a fountain trickles quietly. Its delicate water sounds blending perfectly with the rain overhead. The farther you walk, the more peaceful your thoughts become. Nothing feels urgent here. In fact, you can't even remember what you were thinking before you arrived. So you simply cease trying. Even time itself seems slower, somehow, softer, as though this is a world apart from the other. The caretaker pauses beside a large, rain-streaked window. Outside, the meadow glows silver beneath the night rain. Tall grasses sway gently in the wind. Beyond them, dark hills disappear into mist. The rain is magic, dear one, the caretaker says. It reaches the deepest parts of living things, cleansing and refreshing from without and filling from within, nourishing them quietly, long before anything begins to bloom. Her words settle softly into the room, falling upon you not unlike the rain itself. And you have a sense she is talking about you as much as the flowers outside the greenhouse. Then she turns and smiles kindly at you before turning away from the window. You continue deeper into the greenhouse. At the far end, you discover a hidden sitting area beneath climbing vines. A small woven rug rests beneath your feet. A cushioned daybed sits beside shelves of books. Soft blankets are folded neatly nearby. Candles glow inside glass lanterns. And overhead, rain continues its steady rhythm against the greenhouse roof. The caretaker gestures toward the daybed. Rest for a while, she says softly. You settle carefully onto the cushions. A thick blanket is placed gently across your lap. The fabric is warm and heavy enough to feel comforting, safe. The gray cat has somehow followed quietly behind. Now she leaps softly onto the nearby chair, curling immediately into sleep once more. The caretaker smiles faintly at this. Then she moves quietly away, leaving you alone with the rain. You listen to the water dripping softly from leaves onto the greenhouse roof, the occasional crackle of distant thunder, fountain water moving slowly over stone. Everything here seems designed for comfort. Your breathing grows slower, deeper. You rest your head against the large pillow behind you as the moist warmth of the greenhouse settles gently around you. Tiny lantern reflections shimmer against the glass ceiling above. Leaves sway softly whenever wind brushes the outside walls. And slowly, you begin to feel wonderfully heavy and tired. The rain continues, steady, patient. You notice shelves filled with tiny seed packets nearby. Some are labeled with flowers, others with herbs, others simply marked spring meadow, moon garden, night bloom. You begin to picture what each garden might look like, the types of flowers it might have, the colors and textures. The caretaker returns quietly carrying a small tray. Upon it rests another warm cup of tea, and beside it, a single candle glows softly inside a blue glass. She sets them gently nearby. Some things bloom best after rain, she says quietly. Then she dims the lantern light slightly. The greenhouse becomes softer now, dreamlike. Outside, the rain deepens slightly. You hear droplets flowing through gutters and rain chains. Water gathers in little streams beyond the glass. Somewhere outside, a night bird calls once through the mist. Then silence returns. The kind of silence that feels peaceful rather than empty. The caretaker settles into a nearby chair with a book resting in her lap. She does not speak. She simply remains nearby, a quiet, reassuring presence. And somehow that feels comforting too. You take notice of how much you appreciate the silence of this place, the lack of need to speak, perform, act, do anything, be anything. The greenhouse air glows softly gold and green. Fern shadows move gently along the walls. The cat sleeps deeply beside the lantern. And you begin to notice how tired your body truly is, how much it has carried, how long it has been moving, thinking, holding, trying. But none of that is required here. Tonight you are allowed to rest, and you settle into the thought. As you settle into the soft surface beneath you, the rain will continue without your help. The plants will continue growing quietly through the night. The lanterns will keep glowing softly beside the glass. And for now, you need only breathe, slowly, gently, easily, allowing the fragrant air and peaceful atmosphere to wash over you. After a long while, the caretaker closes her book. The greenhouse has grown even darker now. The lanterns glow low and amber. Rain continues softly overhead. "Come," she says quietly. "It's time to sleep." You rise slowly from the daybed, still wrapped in warmth and calm, and together you leave the greenhouse. The cottage feels even cozier now after the humid garden air. The fire burns low in the hearth. Candles flicker softly on nearby shelves. The caretaker leads you down a narrow hallway. Small framed botanical sketches line the walls. Pressed flowers rest beneath glass. The air smells faintly of lavender and cedar. At the end of the hall, a bedroom waits. The room is simple, quiet, and peaceful. A thick quilt rests across a wide bed. Linen curtains move gently near the slightly open window. Beyond it, you can still hear the rain, steady against the greenhouse glass. A small lantern glows beside the bed. Nearby, dried bundles of lavender and chamomile hang from wooden beams, and the scent of wisteria drifts in through the window. Everything about the room feels restful, safe. The caretaker places a final candle on the bedside table. This one is encased in red glass. Its light flickers softly. Then she pulls the quilt back for you. The bed feels wonderfully soft as you settle beneath the blankets. Warm, heavy, comforting. You take a deep breath. The rain continues quietly outside. The caretaker lowers the lantern light. The room grows dimmer, softer, sleepier. Rest now, she says gently. The greenhouse will keep watch until morning. And with that, she quietly leaves the room. The door remains slightly ajar. A thin ribbon of warm light stretches softly across the wooden floor. You listen. Rain against glass, distant thunder far beyond the hills, water dripping gently from the eaves, the soft shifting of leaves in the greenhouse. Everything slow, everything calm. Your breathing becomes quieter now, your body heavier, your thoughts drifting farther away. And beyond the cottage windows, the rain continues softly through the night, falling across the meadow, across the lantern-lit pathways, across the greenhouse roof, glowing faintly beneath the dark sky. Cleansing, nourishing. The plants continue resting quietly in their warm green world. The cat pads in through the slightly open door, jumps on the bed, and curls peacefully at your feet. The low fire throwing its steady glow across her soft fur. And the cottage itself remains still and welcoming beneath the rain, safe, warm, quiet. There is nothing more you need to do tonight. Nothing more you need to carry. You have arrived, and now you may simply rest. As the rain keeps watch beside the greenhouse glass, and you drift down into peaceful sleep.